Imagine a time when the line between magic and reality was blurred, where witches were both feared and revered, and spells held the power to change destinies. Welcome to the world of witchcraft, a history shrouded in mystery, darkness, and ancient power. But how did we go from ancient rituals to modern-day witches? Stick around, because today, we're unraveling the spellbinding history of witchcraft and magic, its rise, fall, and revival. Let's dive in. Part 1: The Ancient Beginnings. The roots of witchcraft and magic go all the way back to ancient civilizations. Thousands of years ago, magic was seen not just as a mysterious art, but as a powerful tool of survival and spiritual connection. From ancient Egypt's use of charms and spells to the magicians of Mesopotamia who practiced rituals to influence the gods, magic was woven into the fabric of daily life. Take ancient Egypt, for instance. Priests and sorcerers performed rituals to communicate with gods, protect the dead, and heal the sick. The Book of the Dead, filled with magical spells, was an essential guide for navigating the afterlife. Part 2: The Rise of Paganism and Folk Magic. As time moved forward, witchcraft became more rooted in folk traditions, particularly among rural communities. In the heart of Europe, ancient paganism thrived with its focus on nature, the elements, and the divine feminine. Witches weren't seen as evil, they were healers, protectors, and keepers of knowledge. The wise women were often the village's herbalists, midwives, and spiritual leaders. They used plants, potions, and rituals to heal and protect, but over time, as Christianity spread across Europe, pagan practices were seen as a threat to the Church's authority, and that's when things took a darker turn. Part 3: The Witch Hunts and Inquisition. Between the 15th and 18th centuries, Europe saw some of the darkest chapters in the history of witchcraft. With the rise of the Inquisition and the fear of heresy, thousands of men and women, often accused of practicing witchcraft, were brutally hunted, tortured, and executed. The infamous witch hunt spread fear across the continent, with the belief that witches had the power to harm others through magic. Witchcraft, once considered part of normal life, was now associated with evil and corruption. Women, in particular, were often the target of accusations, and entire villages were torn apart by paranoia. It's a tragic part of history that shows how fear and ignorance can distort a practice. Part 4: The Age of Enlightenment and the Decline of Witch Hunts. But as the world entered the Enlightenment era in the 17th and 18th centuries, the age of witch hunts began to fade. Rationalism, science, and a growing skepticism of superstition challenged the long-standing belief in magic and witches. Magic wasn't gone, but it became more hidden, evolving into folk traditions, secret societies, and mystical practices. During this time, the occult gained popularity, with figures like alchemists and mystics dabbling in spiritualism and esoteric practices. Tarot readings, astrology, and other forms of divination grew in popularity. Magic had found a new, more intellectual expression. Part 5: Modern-day Witchcraft. Fast forward to the 20th and 21st centuries, and witchcraft has gone through a complete transformation. In the 1960s and 70s, the rise of the counterculture and the feminist movement brought witchcraft back into the spotlight. The idea of the craft was reclaimed, and modern witches embraced the practice as a form of empowerment and spiritual connection. Today, witchcraft is not just about casting spells, it's about self-discovery, nature, and mindfulness. People are embracing practices like Wicca, neo-paganism, and even eclectic witchcraft, creating a more inclusive and diverse understanding of magic. The internet has also played a huge role in this modern resurgence, with online communities sharing knowledge and rituals. 5 mind-blowing facts about magic and witchcraft. 1. Witchcraft was practiced by kings and queens. Fact: magic wasn't only for peasants and common folk, many royal figures also dabbled in the occult. Famous examples include King Henry VIII of England, who consulted astrologers for his personal and political decisions, and Catherine de' Medici, who was known to have employed astrologers and alchemists to try and control her fate and ensure her family's power. 2. Witches in ancient Egypt had advanced healing knowledge. Fact: in ancient Egypt, witches were often highly respected healers who used magical spells alongside advanced knowledge of medicine, herbs, and anatomy. They were integral to Egyptian society, helping with childbirth, illnesses, and even the embalming of the dead. Some scholars argue that the roots of modern-day pharmacology may trace back to these magical practices. 3. The first witch trials happened in ancient Mesopotamia. Fact: the first recorded witch trials weren't in medieval Europe, they took place in ancient Mesopotamia around 3000 BCE. The Code of Ur-Nammu, one of the earliest known legal codes, included laws that outlined punishments for those accused of practicing witchcraft, illustrating how deeply magic and the fear of witches have been woven into human culture. 4. Witchcraft played a key role in feminism's early history. Fact: in the 1960s and 1970s, witchcraft became a symbol of female empowerment during the feminist movement. Groups like the Witchcraft revival embraced it as a way to challenge patriarchal structures, reclaim their bodies, and embrace the feminine divine. Modern witches, particularly within Wicca, often see the craft as a path toward spiritual freedom and gender equality. 5. Some spells may have been early psychological practices. Fact: in some cultures, spells weren't just about invoking supernatural forces, they were also a form of psychological self-help. Many spells involved chanting or reciting affirmations, which have modern parallels to techniques like affirmative thinking or visualization. Some historians believe that these practices could have helped individuals cope with stress, trauma, and anxiety, acting as an early form of mind-body therapy. So, what do you think? Is there magic in the world today? Or is it just a product of our imagination? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing history videos. Until next time, stay curious, stay enchanted.